need to completely redo my LinkedIn profile banner. It's outdated, it clashes with my brand colors, and I don't want to lose business because I didn't make the best first impression. So I'm going to walk you through how I'm changing my LinkedIn banner and explain the 5 ground rules that all our banners need to follow. Rule number 1, we should focus on our industry or the value we provide. This is huge. Remember that when someone's visiting our LinkedIn profile, it's probably because they're thinking about maybe hiring us or doing business with us in some way. And they're making this decision in seconds. And the banner, which is totally in your face at the top of the profile, plays a ginormous role in that decision. Yes, ginormous is a word. I looked it up in a previous video. Important side note, some people call the LinkedIn banner image a background image or a cover photo. I'm going to call it a banner or banner image. It's all the same. Anyway, I see a lot of banners out there where people are uploading something that isn't industry focused. It could be a picture of a mountain because they like hiking, or a picture of something pretty because it's pretty. But this is not Instagram, this is LinkedIn. Our banner needs to make a point. So with my banner here, yes, it's in the right industry and it's a little dynamic, but there's too much focus on Facebook in this banner and I want to show more platforms. So my first thought in redoing the banner is showing this nice, neat office scene with a little computer monitor, and then I put the social media icons in there because that'll be so clever. Like no one's ever done that before. Of course they have. So I go to pixabay.com, which has a ton of free stock photos. And I have this whole video of my favorite websites for royalty-free and copyright-free stock photos, and I'll put the link in the description. But no matter what site we use, we have to make sure that we filter our view of the images so we're only seeing ones that are horizontal or landscape. And that's because of this super awkwardly narrow space that LinkedIn gives us to put our image in. Our image doesn't have to be exactly these dimensions, but the main parts of whatever image we choose have to fit within that space. And we can't have anything super important in the bottom left corner because that's where our headshot goes. So I find this image on Pixabay and download it, and now I want to put it into Canva so I could see how it all comes together. And thankfully when I'm in Canva and click on create a design and then LinkedIn background photo, I'll be able to design everything in the exact banner size. So it'll be so much easier to see how everything fits. And I'm playing with it. I'm adding some of my brand colors because I realized after 8 years I don't even like my brand colors, and that's on me. And then I add some social media icons that I have from another graphic and put them in the small computer monitor. But I'm not liking this. It doesn't feel like the right design. I even take off the colors on the left-hand side and it still doesn't look right. Now with all this empty space, I am totally tempted to fill it with words like my tagline or my contact info, or if I happen to think of any brilliant text that would blow people's minds, because I know rule number 2, use few words or no words in the banner. Now this rule is broken on LinkedIn even more than the last rule, and it drives me nuts. But if I'm gonna be fair, I do understand the temptation. The banner is this huge space, and if we could just cram it with a whole bunch of information, why not? But here's the deal. We have words everywhere else on our profile, everywhere else, including this headline right here, which is a great place to put your tagline or the value you offer, and pretty much everyone sees this. So our banner up here is our one big chance to make a big impact visually. Besides, words just add clutter, and they don't hit the brain and the heart like images do. I didn't make this stuff up. This is just psychology 101. So whatever I change my banner to, I'm just going to convey it through imagery. And I do think about adding my logo because my logo is an image and I have space to fill, but I'm not giving into that temptation either. And you know why? Because of rule number 3, avoid big logos. People don't buy from us because of our logos. In my company's 8+ year history, no one has ever come to me and said,
"OMG, Brooke, your logo's amazing. Let me hire you for a 10-hour retainer."
People buy from me, and they buy from you because we fill some type of void that they have. That's what every good product or service does. And that's what our banner should show. So if we're going to use our logo, and that's a big if, it should be small and tucked in the way in the corner and subtle. Personally, I'm not going to add my logo to the banner because to me, it just adds clutter and it doesn't add to the message. Okay, so how am I going to get unstuck with how my design is going? Because it's not going well. And I'm wondering if I should just try to find a more dynamic and more updated version of my original banner. So I go into Pixabay again and I find another image that I like, or at least it's the start of an image that I like, and I get it onto Canva. Now I will tell you, I probably could have found an equally good image on Canva itself because I have the Canva Pro account, which gives me access to all their stock photos. But I'm human and sometimes I forget about these logical shortcuts. Anyway, I'm realizing that I'd like something nicer than this grayish background. So if I could just remove the background from the floating social media pins, so all we're left with are the pins, then I can add whatever background I want behind them. So again, since I have Canva Pro, I can use the background remover tool. And by the way, after making like 100 videos, and I can't tell you how many of those I recommended Canva, I finally decided now to have an affiliate link, which I'm going to put in the description, because if I'm going to recommend them, I might as well get paid. I have kids to feed, and I feel okay with this. And in the description, I have links to other tools and services that I use and love, so check it out. Anyway, back to the banner. I'm also playing with the brightness and adding a vignette, which makes it slightly darker around the edges, so it's a little brighter in the middle. And let's see how this looks on my LinkedIn profile. So I download from Canva, go to my LinkedIn profile and click on the pencil icon up here, then scroll down to where it says change photo, then upload photo. And once the photo is up, you'll see you can also play with some of the image settings here, like filters and whatnot. It's kind of like a mini version of what Canva offers for those like last minute tweaks. And once I'm done, I click on apply and I wait for the banner image to change, and it's worse than before. This is not good. So I am going to fix this, but let's take a detour to talk about rule number 4 with LinkedIn profile banners, and that is keep yourself out of the banner. Now, I know there are many of you who are going to disagree with me on this, but please hear me out. Unless you're showing yourself really small on a large stage, talking to a huge audience is kind of a credibility factor thing, putting yourself prominently in the banner will most likely backfire because you already have yourself in your profile picture. It's kind of like saying, in case you couldn't get enough of me on the left-hand side, check me out on the right. Even if you're not narcissistic, it totally looks that way. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, because every single comment triggers the YouTube algorithm to deliver this video to more people. So bring it on. Anyway, I've gotten myself into a mess of a LinkedIn banner, so let's fix this. So I'm thinking I need to fill more of the banner with those social media buttons and get rid of the metal backs of the buttons with the Canva Pro Erase tool. But when I load into LinkedIn, it's still not looking right. So I need to do more work, and now's a good time to talk about rule number 5. Spend time on the banner. If you're a regular to my channel, you know I'm totally big on ways that you can save time or streamline things with your social media. And that's because when you create a social media post, only a small percentage of people are going to see it in the newsfeed. So you don't want to make a big deal about every single individual post. But when someone visits your profile on LinkedIn, there is a 100% chance they're going to see it. It is right there. So then I add more buttons, and I realize I don't like the orange background, so I switch it to a blue background. And then I want to make it a darker blue so it more closely matches my brand colors. And then I tweak the buttons a bit, and voila. And here's also what the banner looks like on mobile. I've done everything I can to make this banner better, but don't put it past me to update it again, because that's just how I roll. Now, Canva is just one of the content creation tools that I really like a lot. And if you want even more resources, check out this video in the top right corner. And these are free resources that'll help you make a splash on your social media. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.